that if you could get on the ballot in the general election and the gasoline tax could get on the ballot, then the Republican voters would be energized. Number one, are you seeing that to be true? And number two, what about these declined estates? Are they energized as well?
Oh, absolutely, Graham, and thanks for having me on. You know, the people of this state have just been pounded into poverty, and they're itching for a chance to make their voices heard at the polls. I mean, they're paying incredible amounts of money for gasoline, for their rents, for housing. They're being told in 2022 that California is going to be on water rationing. So get this, 55 gallons a day is what everybody's going to get, and Newsom supports this. We're going to call this the smelly California from now on, because you're going to only be able to shower every other day instead of every day. Electricity prices are going to double. Meanwhile, our education system is 47th in the nation. We're vying with Mississippi for one of the worst results. This is not California that we want, and I don't think it's anything that people are going to vote for. They're going to vote for change. Smellifornia, I guess, works in Berkeley, but I don't know about other parts in the Golden State. Now, Newsom's running ads like the election is tomorrow. I mean, he's peppering up and down the state right now. Last I looked, he's got about 8-to-1 in terms of dollars for you right now. Is this race really turning into less about policy and more about money? You know what? Sometimes less is more. People look at all those ads, and they have to ask themselves, who the heck is paying for those? Right. And, of course, it's the interest groups that have dominated the political class in Sacramento, and Newsom is more of the same. I mean, he's not going to make any changes in the direction of this state. The people who fund his campaign, as well as the campaigns of all the legislators, they like what's going on in California today. They like the high prices. They like the miserable schools. And why? Because they're in power. They're making money from it. They don't care if it's grinding our state into poverty, and we have the worst business climate in the country. The education system, the roads are horrible. They don't care about that. They're making money, and they're the ones funding his campaign. I believe the people of this state are going to vote for something incredibly different at the polls on November 6th. They're going to vote for change. They're sick of this blow-dried politician who just spouts off whatever he read in a book somewhere, and they want somebody who's actually delivered results, which is really, you know, Graham, at the end of the day, that's what I've done in the private sector for 40 years, and I'm going to do it for the state of California. And it's something Gavin Newsom, even though he's a handsome guy, certainly can't, he's a handsome radical is what he is. Now, this network, John, did some internal polling. Okay. It's fascinating stuff. I kind of pulled all the numbers together, and they looked at, this internal polling did, favorable and unfavorable ratings and rankings among, including you and Donald Trump and Gavin Newsom. Trump's negatives are at 35%. Newsom's negatives are at 44%. Your negatives are at 16%. Now, it seems to me, with so many folks who are declining to state, and many of them would be independent voters, maybe they have open minds in California, maybe they don't. I don't know. But it seems as though this may be your avenue. With high negatives like 44%, how in the wide world of sports can this guy win? I don't know how. I really don't know how. I mean, he's got a Me Too problem stamped to his forehead. He left San Francisco literally as a cesspool. I mean, that's where this negative favorability rating for him comes from. You know, meanwhile, I've just been grinding out my life in terms of producing results. I've been involved in charitable work. You know, I started at the bottom, Graham, and worked my way up. Newsom was basically born connected to the Getty oil fortune, and so that's, you know, I think that's part of it as well. I think people want somebody who knows what it's like to have struggled, which is really my life. And I look at this as a great opportunity to give back and really help people who have struggled, because I know what it's like. What happens if you don't win? I know you don't want to think about that, but what happens to the state of California if you do not win? I see more sanctuary problems, more catering to illegal immigrants. I see higher taxes in the future of California residents. And I see a legislature that's going to go wild. There's going to be no check
against it. No Republican, no level-headed check against it.
I call Gavin Newsom the Thelma and Louise candidate, Graham. Remember that movie where they drove off the cliff at the end? Yeah. He would drive California off the cliff holding hands with Bernie Sanders. You know, he wants universal health care. He wants to open that up, by the way, to the whole country, to the whole world. So anybody who can't afford health care anywhere in the world is going to come into California, whether legally or illegally, to get free health care. That just is beyond the pale ridiculous, and I think the people of this state will reject it. They don't want to go that way.
Viewers ask me across the nation if the California dream is over, and my answer is no. I don't think it's over just yet, but it's going to take a lot of folks like yourself to keep that dream alive, because I think you are looking at the cliff, the Thelma and Louise cliff in California right now. So folks around the country want to help John Cox get across the finish line and maybe turn California a little bit shade of red. Where can they go? Is there a website?
Yeah, johncoxforgovernor.com. We are generating resources every single day online, Graham. It's amazing. We get closer and closer. People get energized about this. And I'm getting close in the polls. And they're going to see a major push here. And we're going to get over the finish line, and we're going to turn this state around, and we're going to make it the Golden State.
Well, it's nitty-gritty time, and you need money to do that. So if folks want to help out, they know where to go. John, thank you.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.